Welcome to the Sun, с вами Joesan, и сегодня мы поиграем в игру The Stanley Parable, или Притча о Стэнли. Я знаю то, что в этой игре все зависит от собственного выбора, и то, что тут есть очень много концовок. То, что можно следовать указаниям автора, либо им не следовать. И я думаю, то, что можно посмотреть сегодня несколько концовок. К примеру, что будет, если идти по рассказу автора, и если кое-где его не слушать. Что ж, начнем.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Хорошо. Выходим. Смотримся. Я знаю, что эта игра довольно, можно сказать, старая, то что уже по ней много было видео у разных ютуберов, но мне просто стало интересно самому ее пройти.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Может, они просто отправились на корпоратив, а Стэнли не взяли? Прикольно. Мы выключили компьютер. Я люблю работу. Типа только ненавижу моего босса. Прикольно. I hate Mondays. Я ненавижу понедельники. Так.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Ладно.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Все так и есть.
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Прикольно, такая комната отдыха. Но я сюда пришел за тем, чтобы на все потыкать.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really
Естественно, а
worth
ты
it.
еще думал? Это прикольно, когда нет коллег. Тут столько кофе.
At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left.
Да не тренди. Прикольно, когда никого нет. Все места свободны, можно все что угодно попить, почитать.
Stanley sat around waiting for more dialogue, but when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Ну, Это все удача. Это чертежи. Joesan. Do not lie. If you are lying right now, stop. Предостережение. Не лгите. Если вы лжете прямо сейчас, остановитесь. А кому? Лжу. Лгу. Пойдем дальше.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself.
Иди нафиг.
Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
Ну давай. Как ты это сделаешь?
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Или пошел сюда? Нет. Не прокатило. О. Теперь буду сидеть здесь. Ну, давай пойдем в синюю дверь. Я дальтоник.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door.
Ну, красная дверь. А я что говорю? Видишь, красная.
I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
Ну, красная дверь.
All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
Слушай, ты можешь не... Ах ты гад. А если я туда не хочу идти? Ты говорил в прошлый раз пойти в левую дверь? Давай я пойду в левую дверь. Вот ты зараза.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
Я даже не знаю, что ответить. Примеру, давай... Хорошая критика, давай 5.
Aha! You see, I knew I was onto something. Where do these flashes of inspiration come from? How did I know the game needed a third door? Well, it's instinct mostly, a calling in your gut. I really couldn't say where the idea came from, except that I felt it in my soul. You can't teach that, Stanley. Don't even try. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
А? Что? Что это? Ого. Ого. Давай пойду теперь в правую дверь. Я все равно приду. Я понял.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
Я даже не знаю. Можно отсюда выбраться? Нет? Пойти сюда? Нет. Пойти сюда? Нет. Ладно. Давай выберем четверку.
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up.
Что?
In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
Что?
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to
Спасибо.
spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out, I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
Что происходит? Куда опять меня грузит? Шайтан, ты что делаешь?
Well, Stanley, is this any better? At last, the one thing you've always desired. A game I had absolutely nothing to do with. But is it enough? Tell me that, Stanley. Will it ever be enough? Well, I'll say
А можно
this. I'm
подняться
done making
как-нибудь,
things
нет?
for you. From now on, I will only create to fulfill a greater artistic purpose. Watch this, Stanley. I'm going to build a house.
Где? Где?
This will go here. No, here. And then. Let's see, what does it need? Yes, of course. And just to finish it all off, yes, it's complete. I made this, Stanley. Look at it. Gaze upon my work of art and feel ashamed at your own inadequacy. Ah, but you've only seen it from the outside. You've only gotten half the experience. Please, step inside and make yourself comfortable.
Хоть бы из дерева сделал, господи, из земли. Ты вообще кто? Я не пойду в этот дом. Я не пойду. Я, как заядлый профессиональный игрок Майнкрафт, отказываюсь идти в эту постройку. Дайте мне нормальный деревянный дом. Можно как-нибудь подпрыгнуть. Можно отсюда уйти, пожалуйста. Что я еще могу сделать? Чё? Я не пойду туда. Нет, даже не думаю. Не пойду. Я буду стоять тут. Ладно, пойдем.
Isn't it grand? Isn't it perfect? It could only be better if... Wait, that's it. We must rebuild it out of diamond. Diamond everything. Yes. Come along, Stanley. We have to go mining.
О, а вот это nice. Шли.
Oh my, it looks like it's going to get a bit dark. Have you brought a light?
Нет. Куда? Зачем будрок? Что за
Oh,
развод?
no. This is far more open-ended than I had in mind. I'm looking for something more narrow and linear. Something that makes you feel utterly irrelevant. This won't do at all. 1 out of 5. Even the diamonds couldn't save this one. Okay, new game.
В смысле? В смысле? В смысле новая игра? Что это?
Yes! I don't even know what this game is, but I love it. You, trapped in a glass box with no way out, listening to me talk. Oh, it's inspired. I couldn't have done it any better myself. What is this game even supposed to be? I can't figure it out. Okay, now I'm curious.
Это ж
Let's go
портал,
find out
правильно?
what the hell this
Да.
is. Oh, it's a puzzle. Critical thinking, Stanley. Your forte.
Пошел в жопу автор.
Genius.
Все изи.
No, actually, you know what? I think that's plenty. I really don't care much to see you stumble through any more of the...
Что? 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 Что это? Что это? Я могу что-нибудь взять? Нет. Где я? Куда? Что это? Что? Что? Это что? Это как? Это чего? Не, я не хочу. Это что? Это как? Чел, вернись за мной, пожалуйста. Вернись, пожалуйста. Давай дальше по твоим правилам играть. Я вижу свет, я вижу свет, я вижу свет, я вижу свет, я вижу свет. Давай. Ни хрена себе. Что это? Где мы? Где мы? Как из этого выбраться?
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.